right, boom, we're back. Okay. It is also to help you understand how to set yourself up for success during this nutrition challenge. And then we're going to learn how to utilize the app to help support you guys on your journey, how you guys can win points, and how you guys can win the challenge. Okay. So we are going to dive right in. Welcome to the CrossFit Hierarchy Pyramid. So this is a pyramid for achieving peak performance. This chart demonstrates the hierarchy of importance when we're talking about fitness. So you may have already noticed at the bottom of this pyramid lies the cornerstone of success. So nutrition, what we're all here for. This serves as the starting point and the fundamental block upon which all of the other aspects of CrossFit are built. So second, we're going to have metabolic conditioning, which is your ability to create and use energy efficiently. Gymnastics is going to be your ability to move your body through space, while weightlifting is going to be your ability to move external objects. At the pinnacle, we're going to have sport-specific training, and this is going to draw from every other area and characterized by the highest degree of specialization. So you're probably like, Sam, blah, blah, blah. What are you talking about? The point I'm trying to make is to not get ahead of ourselves and focus on the sexiest parts of CrossFit, right? So we want to nail down the nutrition before moving into the next blocks. All right. So without that solid nutritional foundation, your other blocks of the pyramid are going to lack the necessary support for you to reach your full potential, which is why probably a lot of you, at least knowing talking to some of you already, have been doing CrossFit for a good amount of time. And maybe you're not seeking the performance goals you want. And you're like, Sam, I've been doing CrossFit for years and I don't look like it, right? You're like, I want to see some aesthetic changes. I'm strong, I'm moving well, but my body doesn't show that I'm doing CrossFit 5 to 6 times a week. So let's think of nutrition as our compass. It's going to guide you towards peak performance, overall well-being. It's going to ensure your body is well fueled, properly recovered, and ready to excel in each block of the pyramid. Now, we have our CrossFit hierarchy, but we also have kind of our nutrition hierarchy. So first, I want you guys to close your eyes and imagine this pyramid above is one huge layer cake, okay? And that little red blurb at the top, that's your cherry. So if your first 4 layers of cake are made up of garbage, is that cherry going to make any difference to you? No, right? It's going to still taste like crap. So this is what the fitness industry wants you guys to think about nutrition. You may ask me why. And that's because I can't sell you anything expensive if I tell you that calorie balance, macronutrient intake, and an appropriate quantity of fruit and vegetables is literally going to get you guys 90% of the results that you're looking for. But to be honest, it doesn't sound as fun or as sexy as me telling you to drink my tea today and be shredded tomorrow, right? So if you guys are after a shortcut for your CrossFit nutrition, bad news is you can't just eat clean foods and ignore your calorie intake. You can't supplement your way out of a bad diet. And there's not really any special meal timing tricks like intermittent fasting, okay? But knowledge is power. So we're going to start at the bottom of this pyramid and we're going to dig in. So calories. Calories are literally just a measurement of energy, but they're at the bottom for a reason. Energy balance is going to determine whether weight will be gained or weight will be lost. So if you're training really hard at the gym, but you're not gaining any muscle, you're not gaining any weight, calorie balance is going to be your problem. Obviously, you need to eat more. On the opposite side of that, if you feel that you're being super careful about selecting healthy foods, but you're not losing weight, calorie balance is also your problem, right? So you're going to need to eat less. If we look at keto, Whole30, intermittent fasting, I mean, there's tons of fad diets. Whatever the new fad diet is, it's not magic, okay? It's just cutting out parts of your diet to put you in a caloric deficit. And now that you know that, for all my sweet tooth friends I chatted with in our initial consult, you know you don't have to cut that out, right? You can eat anything in moderation if you know how to balance your energy. So we're simply going to use this graphic on the screen to break it down today. A good ballpark figure If you were to train 3 to 5 days a week, which most of you are, if you had a sedentary job, which most of you do, and aren't obese, then if you multiply your body weight in pounds by 15, this would give you your body's approximate caloric needs for a day. Okay, so that comes out to around 2250. So if you were then looking to lose 1 pound of fat per week, which is a sustainable weight loss goal, you would then subtract 500 calories from that daily target because 1 pound of fat is equal to 3,500 calories. So 500 calories less a day would get me that 1 pound down by the end of the week. Okay. Obviously, on the side, we have the math done, 1750 calories a day. Obviously, we can dive much deeper into the details, but for now, I just want you guys to know that this step can be as easy as that. It's not worth stressing this number too much because all energy calculations are just that, they're estimation. So ultimately, what's going to be as important is that you stay consistent and you track what's working or not working for you. All right. So you may have heard it said before that while calories determine the weight on the scale, macronutrients are going to determine whether that change is fat or muscle mass. Though this simplification, it definitely underrepresents the importance of training. Macros are going to play a huge role in how fast we reach our physique goals and whether we reach them at all. So we're going to have our proteins, our carbohydrates, and our fats, and we're going to dive a little deeper into each of those. So we're going to start with proteins. Proteins are going to play a crucial role in muscle repair and growth. So it's going to be the fundamental component of nutrition for all of our athletes. During intense workouts, our muscle fibers are going to experience micro tears and damage. Protein is going to provide us the amino acids that we need to repair these muscle fibers. So after a workout, our MPS, so muscle protein synthesis, is elevated. So consuming protein-rich foods or supplements at that time is going to capitalize on that window of opportunity. Protein can also help stabilize blood sugar levels. It's going to slow down the absorption of carbohydrates when we consume them together. That's why we tell you guys to balance out your snacks, balance out your meals, right? It's also the most satiating of all the three macros, which makes it very useful for combating hunger if you're one of those people that's in the deficit phase. So it's important to remember that individual needs of protein are going to vary, and personalizing your protein intake is going to be based on your goals and your training schedule. But a great rule of thumb is going to be 1 gram per pound of body weight. In your app, you guys are going to find a food source list. So this food source list is going to be right under or right above where your challengers group chat is. Okay. In this list, you're going to find your protein sources. It's going to be broken down from your most lean sources. So the least amount of fat, the moderate sources, they're going to be a little bit higher in calorie. They're going to have a little more fat in them. And then the red star is going to be your higher fat proteins. We're going to move right on into my favorite macronutrient. So carbohydrates. Carbs are the body's preferred and primary source of energy. Okay, so these are especially important during high intensity activities like CrossFit. So carbohydrates are stored in the form of glycogen in the muscles and the liver. These glycogen stores serve as your energy during exercise. So if they're depleted, that's going to lead you to fatigue, decreased performance, and when you guys have that, you're hitting the wall feeling during a WOD. Complex carbohydrates are going to be whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and they're going to provide you a steady, sustained release of energy. Whereas your simple carbohydrates, think candy, sugary drinks, processed snacks, these are going to be digested quicker by the body, but it is going to lead to a spike in your blood sugar level. And think of a crash at the end. So like when you've had too much coffee and then you're crashing, simple carbs are going to do the same thing. Individual needs for carbs are going to vary, but they should account for 30 to 40% of your daily intake. Just like we have our protein list, you guys are going to have underneath that, you're going to have your carb list. it is going to be broken down into two sources. So first, you're going to see your starchy carbs, which are going to be based on the glycemic level. So how high are they in sugar? You're going to have low glycemic, moderate glycemic, high glycemic. You'll also have your non-starchy carbs or your volume carbs. So these are going to be your veggies that you're going to want to eat as many of them as possible. Okay. They're not going to account for basically anything when it comes to your daily caloric intake. And they're full of tons of vitamins and minerals. We're going to move into fats. So fats and proteins are essential to our bodies, whereas our carbohydrates are not. Healthy fats are a dense source of calories. Our proteins and carbs are 4 calories per gram, and our fats are 9. Okay, so they're over double the amount. They are going to provide a slower, sustained release of energy, unlike carbs, which are that immediate energy source. They are crucial for maintaining hormonal balance, particularly our sex hormones. So think testosterone and estrogen, which play a significant role in our muscle growth, our recovery, and overall performance. Fats are also needed for the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins, so vitamin A, D, E, and K. Most people do well when setting their fat intake to about 20 to 30% of their caloric budget. But just like carbs, it's going to depend on your goals and your lifestyle. Some people do better with a higher carb diet. Some people do better with a higher fat. And of course, you are going to also have your healthy fat list. So when we are done here today, I definitely recommend you all go into your app and check out that food source list. All right. So we talked a little bit about the way that these are broken down and converted into energy, right? So they are converted into energy through various metabolic pathways. And if you've talked to Colby, you've probably talked about these metabolic pathways many times. Okay, so these metabolic engines are known as the phosphagen, the glycolytic, and the oxidative. So first, we're going to talk about the phosphagen. This is going to dominate your high-powered activities that last for like a couple seconds. So think 100-meter sprint or 1 rep max clean and jerk. This pathway relies on stored ATP and creatine phosphate in your muscles for rapid energy production. Okay. Our glycolytic system is going to provide energy for honestly the majority of your CrossFit workouts. So it's going to break down your stored glycogen, your carbohydrates, which is why as athletes, we need them, into ATP without the need for oxygen. But it does produce lactate, or lactic acid is what you guys might know it called as, which is that like burning feeling that you get in your muscles. Lastly, we're going to have our oxidative system. This is our primary energy system that's used for longer, lower powered WODs. Obviously, I'm not going to go as hard at a 5K as I would in a 100-meter sprint. I mean, I would hope that you wouldn't anyways. Think of WODs like Murph, something that is long, slow, but you have to sustain that energy. This pathway relies on oxygen to break down fats to produce ATP through aerobic metabolism. It's going to happen in the mitochondria of the cell, which, if you remember from like 3rd grade science, is the powerhouse. Okay, so basically, the body's choice of fuel is going to depend on the intensity and the duration of the activity, as well as the availability of the macronutrients. This is why we need to have a well-balanced nutrition, right? Carbohydrates for that essential immediate energy, proteins to support your muscle health, and fats to provide sustained energy. All right, moving right along. If you guys think of your macronutrition as the fuel that you put in your car, I want you to think of micronutrition as the oils that lubricate it. So a diet with micronutrient deficiencies is not going to be immediately detrimental to you, but in the long term, it is going to impact your nutrition and torpedo your training efforts. Micronutrients are essential for various physiological processes, energy production, immune function, and just maintaining optimal body function. Fortunately, it doesn't have to be complicated. Just following a few simple rules of thumb regarding your fruit and vegetable intake can safeguard you against any deficiency. So, as you can see right here, aim to eat a fist of vegetables with every meal, 2 to 3 fists of fruit every day, a palm of protein with every meal, and get outside and get some sunshine. Okay. A multivitamin is not a substitute for a poor diet, but it can add additional insurance if you're already adhering to solid CrossFit nutrition. Last thing I want to say is once you have the micronutrients that your body needs, you don't get extra points for eating more of them. More isn't better when you're already getting enough. So don't get sucked into the supplemental hype, the reds, the greens, the superfood. You don't need it if you're already getting in your vegetables and your fruits. Hydration. So, water is going to be also involved in various metabolic processes, including the production of energy from your macronutrients. Dehydration can lead to a reduction in energy production. That's going to result in decreased performance, fatigue, and maybe you're someone that gets muscle cramps while working out. So during your workouts, your body generates heat, and sweating is our primary mechanism for cooling down. So adequate hydration is going to help maintain your body's core temperature within a safe range, preventing overheating and heat related issues. Just super important. I know summer is coming up. So after workouts, rehydration is critical for that recovery process. Hydrating is going to help flush out waste products, reduce muscle soreness, and speed up your recovery to allow you to get back to training sooner. Determining our daily water intake can be influenced by several factors, but a good starting point is going to be half your body weight in ounces. All right, a little bit of timing. Okay, so pre and post workout nutrition. As far as pre workout nutrition timing goes, we want to aim to eat a balanced meal or snack 1 to 3 hours before our workout. This is going to allow for digestion and ensure that the nutrients are available for you when you need them. We want to prioritize complex carbohydrates, think whole grains, oats, fruits in our pre workout meals. These are going to provide a sustained source of energy and help replenish your glycogen stores. We want to include a moderate amount of protein, think at least 15 to 25 grams to support muscle preservation and repair. We want to definitely try to avoid high fat and high fiber foods in that pre workout meal or snack because they can slow down your digestion and lead you to discomfort during your workout. We want to save those for after our workout. So, if you have limited time or prefer a quick pre workout option, considering things like a banana, a protein bar, a whey shake, things like that. When it comes to our post workout nutrition, we want to make sure we're getting in at least a shake, a meal, or a snack within 30 minutes to an hour after exercise. This is that critical window for optimal recovery. So we want to include carbohydrates to replenish those glycogen stores. Rapidly digestible carbs like white rice can be particularly beneficial immediately after your workout. We want to prioritize protein intake here a little bit higher than we did pre workout. So think 20 to 30 grams or more to support that muscle repair and growth. We want to incorporate foods that are going to be rich in antioxidants and, of course, anti inflammatory properties. So think berries, leafy greens, fatty fish, things like that. Everyone's favorite thing to talk about supplements. So, supplements are the smallest part of the puzzle, but they can be useful, right? It is that cherry on top. It is the pinnacle of the pyramid. Do you need it? Do you not? Okay. They can be divided into two pieces. So there's going to be health and then there's going to be performance supplements. As a registered nutritionist, my top three supplements for any and every athlete are going to be whey protein, creatine, and caffeine. So, whey protein is derived from milk during the cheese making process. So, it is a dairy. It is one of the two main proteins found in milk, and the other one is going to be casein. So, whey protein is great for rapid digestion, pre workout, post workout. Okay. Casein is going to be the opposite. It's a slower digesting protein, which is great before bed to keep you feeling full throughout the night. If you're one of my late night snackers or wake up starving kind of people, that's how you can help combat that. Protein supplements are one of the easiest hacks to hit your goal and can be added into literally anything you eat or drink. Think a shake, your yogurt in the morning, pancakes, oats, super easy. Creatine monohydrate is going to be by far the most researched, most affordable, and most effective of all the creatine variants. It's going to benefit your strength and your power production. Caffeine, obviously, pre workout, coffee, energy drink, something to enhance your focus and your performance. Obviously, don't overdo it. While we're talking about pre workout, some of you like to find non stimulants. So, beta alanine is going to be great for that. And if you're thinking of creatine for power, I want you to think of beta alanine for longer anaerobic workouts. I do get a lot of questions about BCAs even today in class. And although they are trendy, they won't do anything for you outside the context of fasted training. Okay. So if your protein intake is sufficient for the day, you do not need BCAs. As far as health and nutritional supplements go, a multivitamin is a good insurance policy against deficiencies. Some of you might have deficiencies. If your energy is always low, if your skin is pale, this might be something you want to look into. The one a days seem to check all of the boxes. Omega 3s, which are usually consumed in the form of fish oils, can help with reducing inflammation and aid in joint recovery. So, those are also going to be great for athletes. Vitamin D3, if you have insufficient levels of vitamin D in your body, it's going to compromise your immune system, which can be a disaster for someone who's training hard, or you're in a caloric deficit, or you're attempting to perform any type of activity at a high level. Magnesium, I take magnesium. It's going to support muscle function, energy production, and your electrolyte balance, which is a big one. Again, especially with summer coming up. It helps prevent muscle cramps, reduce the risk of muscle fatigue, and it's going to aid in post exercise recovery. I have one more for you, collagen. So, collagen is going to support your joint health, injury prevention, muscle repair. It's also great for your bone strength and your gut health. Again, I really, really, really want to stress that if you are not checking off the other four boxes of that pyramid, none of these supplements are useful for you. Okay. So, this is the pinnacle. I'm doing everything I can. Sam, what else can I do? This is the top 10% of your nutrition. What is most important is going to be consistency. So I want you to think if you guys jumped into CrossFit on day one and think of you try to jump in and train like Tia Claire Toomey, right? You are going to be crying at the end of each workout. Your connective tissues are going to feel like they are permanently on fire by day two. And by the end of the first week, you're definitely going to be injured. So, the same way that we approach training from a what is an appropriate level of stimulus for me now, I want you guys to approach the way you set up your nutrition plans the same. As a society, we don't have a weight loss problem, we have a rebound problem. So, research is going to suggest that 80 to 95% of people who lose weight end up regaining it back or more within a few years. So, even if weight loss is not your goal, this statistic shows that extreme habits can lead you down a misleading road, ready to blow a tire any moment. So, promoting a balanced, holistic approach, which we've all been talking about in our initial meetings, think regular physical activity, your nutrient dense diet, adequate sleep, stress management, positive relationship with food. It's crucial to avoid crash diets or extreme workout regimens that may not be sustainable in the long term. Okay, these are going to lead you to negative, not only physical, but psychological effects. Focus more on making gradual, sustainable changes to your lifestyle and building these healthy habits that you can lead over to your life forever, right? We are the products of our habits, not what we are going to do for short periods. All right, practical tips. So, real quick, we want to make sure that you're having a protein, a carb, and a fat with every meal. Focus on lean meats, fruits, veggies, and healthy fats. So, again, your food source list in your app is going to be crucial for you. If you're like, Sam, what the heck is a lean meat? What's a healthy fat? What are my starches? What are they not? It's all going to be right there for you. Drink plenty of water throughout the day. Carry a reusable water bottle with you. Stay hydrated on the go. And then reducing the consumption of highly processed and sugary foods. So opting for whole unprocessed foods whenever possible, or processed healthy foods, right? So not all processed food is bad. Yogurt is processed. Yogurt didn't grow from the ground, right? But it's nutrient dense processed food. Live by the 80-20 rule, 80% whole foods, 20% fun foods. Now, this kind of gets confused with 80%, meaning my 5 days of the week, I'm on point. I'm eating my meal prep, eating great, and 20%, here comes the weekend, and I throw it all off, right? And I'm off the rails for the weekend. That is not what I mean by 80-20. Okay. So thinking on a day-to-day basis, if for easy math, I was supposed to have 2,000 calories, 800 of them would come from whole, balanced meals, nutrient dense foods, and 200 of those calories would be something fun, like a candy bar or a crumble cookie piece, just a piece. Um, Try to eat regular meals and snacks to maintain consistent energy. That way, your blood sugar levels are not crashing throughout the day. And then, obviously, like we just talked about, remember, consistency is key. So, we've kind of learned that nutrition serves as the foundation of the pyramid because it directly impacts your ability to train effectively, recover efficiently, and perform your best. Okay. Without proper nutrition, the upper levels of the pyramid, including metabolic conditioning, the gymnastics, weightlifting, and if you feel like competing, they're going to lack the base that's required for success in CrossFit. Therefore, nutrition is not just a component, but it is the cornerstone of achieving peak performance and overall well being in the CrossFit community. So, while you're evaluating your nutrition and your training, and hopefully not too much supplementation, please recall that layer cake example from the beginning. So, once you understand this hierarchy of importance, each layer brings to the table, you'll be able to make better decisions, and that's going to lead you to increased performance and overall well being. All right, we are going to switch gears over into the actual challenge. Okay, so we're going to have four pillars that we're working on. We're going to be working on nutrition, daily movement, sleep, and stress. So, nutrition is the foundation, and each week we will be having a new nutritional focus. The idea as the weeks go on is that you continue with the first week's habit and you layer the new one on top of it. Not that you just throw the first week habit out the window. Okay. Our other three pillars that we're going to be focusing on and clicking off if we do them every day are going to be 30 minutes of daily movement, 7+ hours of sleep, 10+ minutes of stress management. Okay, so you guys are going to have these every day in your app. The other one you'll have is an educational video. We're going to start with this week's nutritional habit. Okay, so we're going to start right out of the gate with the plate method. And actually, on your app, it is focusing on the plate method with all of your meals, focusing on the green foods. Okay, so those green foods in that food source list is what I want you focusing on when you're looking at the plate method. It's the easiest and most effective method for improving your diet. Okay, the plate method's a great rule of thumb when you're eating out or whipping up a quick meal at home. Here's how we're going to do it. You're going to make half of your plate non-starchy veggies. So those volume veggies we talked about, your leafy greens, carrots, bell peppers, things like that. You're going to make a quarter of your plate starch, and then you're going to add a quarter of your plate lean protein, and then adding in a healthy plant-based source of fat. So, pro tips are going to be start with your non starchy veggies, then dig into your protein, and lastly, start eating your starch. If you're still hungry, I want you going back for more non starchy veggies or lean protein. Okay, so that quarter starch, I want you sticking with that. Go back for protein, go back for non starch veggies. If you're looking to have a post workout, pre workout meal, and you're training extended periods, your goal is to build muscle. Yours is going to look slightly different. Okay. You're going to go by the thirds rule, a third of protein, a third of starch, and a third of veggies, because you're going to want to replenish those glycogen stores. You're going to want to have them ready to work out the next day. Um, the little star just says your fat recommendation is going to be varied based on how much fat is in your protein. Okay. A rule of thumb is like a rule of thumb of fat. All right, let's talk about sleep. You guys were pretty half and half on this. Some of you are crushing it. Some of you, you need some help. Some of us wear some sleep trackers, which is great. The recommended amount of sleep for adults is 7 to 8 hours. It's directly correlated to your body's ability to regulate your hormone levels, your blood sugar levels, and obviously recover. Specifically related to performance, research shows that athletes actually are going to need additional hours for proper recovery. So, thinking more like 8 to 10 hours. Okay. When we don't sleep enough, our hormone regulation is all out of whack. And that's going to inhibit our ability to lose weight, perform our best, and build muscle, which we all want to do. 35% of adults report sleeping less than 7 hours a night. So, how will you get 7 hours of sleep a night? Maybe look into what does your nighttime routine look like? I encourage you guys to create a schedule and a routine so that you aren't sucked in by that series on TV. I know I do it sometimes too. All right, our next pillar is stress. A lot of you guys rated yourselves pretty high when it came to the 1 to 5 on the stress. So when you have chronic stress, your body is always alert, even though there's no danger. You don't even know, but your body is always in fight or flight. And over time, this is going to put you at risk for health problems, including high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, depression or anxiety, even skin problems, and definitely menstrual problems for my ladies. Um, I spoke to a lot of you about this and how when your body's in that constant state of fight or flight, it's going to decrease your hunger and your satiation hormones, meaning you are always hungry and nothing that you are eating is making you full. When your stress hormone is spiked, it is directly affecting your other hormones. So, what can you do? Well, lucky for you, every day we are going to practice 10 plus minutes of stress management. Maybe you don't know what works well for you, which is great because you're going to have a lot of time to figure it out. For some people, this looks like taking a walk outside, maybe without your headphones, maybe without music. Some people like to do quiet time. Some people like to journal. Some people like to meditate. This is a good time for you to try out all kinds of things to figure out what's going to work best for you in the long term. Challenge, exercise. So, in your habit, it is the 30 plus minutes of daily movement. Okay. So, when I say exercise, I don't mean spending hours in the gym every day. I don't mean you have to do a WOD every day. Yes, I want you to include higher intensity exercise and strength training. We should think 3 to 4 days a week. Okay. What happens the other days of the week? Exercise has a ton of benefits related to overall health, blood sugar control, and disease prevention. So, if you find yourself sitting at a desk most of the day, maybe getting up and taking a walk around your office or the desk 5 minutes, right? If you do that 6 times in a day, you have your 30 minutes of daily movement. Maybe you do a 15-minute walk after lunch and a 15-minute walk after dinner. Not only is this going to help with digestion, but it's also going to help you with blood sugar regulation. Maybe you break it into 3 10-minute walks. Okay. But I need you moving for at least 30 minutes a day, whatever is going to work best for you. Now we're going to move into our app. So some of you have used the app before, some of you have not used the app. Today, you will see that you had two habits. So if you guys are here, you've already earned a point. You guys will click off that you went to the kickoff seminar. So that'll put you ahead of your friends that did not make it in today. Okay. You will then have your weekly training. Oops. What happened? One sec. There we go. Okay. So you will then have your things to do today. Under that, you have your guys' leaderboard and you have your challengers group. The challengers group is where I want you guys engaging with each other. There's going to be different um, weekly challenges that come in, and that's where you guys are going to be posting about what you're doing. Right now, I want you guys to all go into the app and I want you to put a thumbs up in the group so I know that you know how to do it. Yeah, there we go. I got a couple. Perfect. I love it. Okay. So you will also have a video every day. So you're going to have your habits of the day. And one of those habits is going to be, did you watch your educational video? You guys are going to tell me, but Coach Sam, I'm so busy. I didn't have time because I hear it all the time. It's 1 minute. You guys have 1 minute of time. Okay. We're going to move forward. So we know that the most successful clients are the clients that are the most engaged. So they're engaged in the app. A great way to stay engaged is tracking those habits. And if you want to win, you have to track your habits. So let's take a moment to practice. I want you guys to go back into the app. And this time, I want you guys to click off your habit that you attended the seminar today. So, staying on track and staying compliant with your habits is going to be how you watch your name soar to the top of that leaderboard. Right. The other thing that you will see next to your food source list, which a lot of you guys were really interested in, is recipes. There is a ton of great recipes in there. Throughout the week, I'm going to pop in with videos, educational nuggets, and I'm also going to ask you guys if you've tried any of the recipes. So if you guys log in there and you're like, this sounds great, I want to add this to my meal prep this week, or I'm going to cook this for dinner, take a picture of it, send it to the group. We want to know. We want to know which ones are good. There's a pecan crusted chicken in there. That one's my favorite. I recommend you guys try that one out. So, pro tips for the app. I am going to recommend that you move this app to your home screen. It's going to make it easy for you to see it every day and be like, oh, that's right. I have to go in there. Go into your settings, turn your notifications on. Okay. Your habits are going to be there. Everything is going to be there. The weekly challenges that are going to change, you're going to get those from from me. So if you guys look, that little plus on the bottom right, that's going to be your private messaging with me. That's where you're going to get messages about the mini challenges. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to ask me there. If you have group questions, ask them in the group. But if you're like, I have something I'm a little bit confused about, that little plus sign is going to go directly to me. All right. Now we all want to know, how the heck do we win this thing? So, based off of that weekly leaderboard, you guys are going to have that's solely based off your habits. Okay. Obviously, it's kind of an honor roll system thing, but when we get to the end, and let's say there's 3 to 4 of you that are pretty similar, you guys did great, you crushed your habits, we're going to go into your results. And if you did all those habits all week long and you got 5 points a day, 5 points a day, 5 points a day, you did the baseline workout, you completed the baseline workout again, and you look at me and you're like, oh, I have no results, I'm going to tell you you're a liar. Okay. So we want to make sure that we are being honest when doing this. Yes, we want to see our name at the top of the leaderboard, but we also want to make sure that we're staying compliant. Okay. That's going to be accountability for you and your friends. Okay. Um, we're going to be retesting that baseline workout. I sent it in the group chat today, also, in case you guys didn't get the initial email or you lost it. You guys can do that anytime this weekend. It's body weight, so you guys do not have to do it at a gym. If you're like, Sam, I don't know how long 200 meters is, I want you to run 30 seconds out, mark wherever you went, and then I want you to run 30 seconds back to where you started. And that marker that you ran to, that's going to be your marker every time. And when you retest this baseline workout, I want you doing it at that exact same place and using that same marker. That way we have a good measurement for, at least how well you did. Obviously, I'm hoping to see you all PR that workout at the end of the 28 days. So a little bit of nutrition questions. Do you have to weigh or log your food? No, you do not have to weigh or log your food. So there's no need to buy a food scale and there's no reason to weigh out portions if you have your plate in your hands, which you do. So you guys can use the hand portion size guide or the plate method. We already spoke about the plate method. The hand portion is going to be 2 fists of non-starchy vegetables, 1 to 2 palms of protein. So we usually say my palm's probably like anywhere from 20 to 30 grams, depending on how big your hand is. A half to 1 cup. So thinking like what I could hold in my hand of your starchy carbs, and a thumb to 2 of fat. You don't love veggies. What do you do? Because Coach Sam keeps talking about these dang veggies and how I have to fill my plate with them. Well, I've heard this so many times. And honestly, I think you just haven't found the right way. So you can roast your veggies, you can air fry your veggies, cook them on the grill, find a seasoning that you like, find ways to sneak them into recipes that you don't even know it's there. Okay. Find something you like, throw them in, give it a shot. Go through the options list and see all of the different vegetables. Try new varieties. This is a good time to try things that maybe you haven't before. Can I still eat my favorite foods? Yes, absolutely. I want you to find a realistic and sustainable plan to help you reach your goals. So, this means continuing to eat your favorite foods and not restricting them. Okay. Um, this is what I talked about in the diets, right? I do the diet, I lose the weight, and the diet's over, and I gain it all back because I didn't learn sustainable habits to continue on with. This challenge is all about finding sustainable habits to continue on with, not about putting you in prison for 28 days. Okay. Think about the plate method and try to consider how your favorite foods fit into that balanced breakdown. So maybe I have a starchy carb that I want to eat. Is that going to make me full if I eat a cookie? Am I going to, yeah, it's going to make me feel great. I want the cookie, but afterwards, how can I make that better? So maybe adding in some protein or some veggies on the side. If you're wanting meatballs, maybe it's already in sauce, okay? And then you have that's going to be your fat, and then adding in your noodles and making sure that you're getting at least a cup of veggies in that pasta or side salad on the side. Okay, so there's lots of easy ways to incorporate your favorite foods. But if you're thinking, Sam, I want ice cream, the answer is still yes. You guys know me. I'm a sweets girl. Please have them mindfully, okay? Keep them in proper portion sizes. Enjoy the treat. And the most important part about that is moving on. No shame, no guilt. You ate the ice cream. Cool. It was lovely. And my next meal, I'm right back on track. What happens after the challenge? So I want you guys to imagine yourself 6 months from now, continuing to focus on what is manageable after the challenge. And I want you guys to think where you see yourself. Now, I want you guys to imagine yourselves 6 months from now taking a step back from focusing on those goals. How does that future differ from the first? What does that first person you thought of have that the person that stepped away from their goals doesn't? So, helping you guys achieve what you just imagined in the first scenario is why we're here and why we developed the ongoing nutrition program. So, the ideal next step after the challenge is to move into ongoing individualized coaching to help you meet your goals. So, always keep that in mind as we are moving forward after this challenge. And that is all I have for you guys today. So if you guys have anything, I mean, you guys could, I don't know if I have to unmute you or you can unmute yourself. Yes, Colby. Oh, I got you. I got you. Hold on. I don't know how. I'm terrible. I'm terrible at this. Okay, where are you? I gotta find your little guy. Oh, it doesn't let me unmute you.
I think he needs to do that himself.
Oh, yeah, you have to unmute yourself. Thank you, Vinod.
It's a sign, Colby.
You can write in the chat. It says I need to restart the app. Oh, we'll just write your question in the right here in the chat. I can see it. Oh, you're welcome. I hope you guys learned something. I am going to have this. I don't know if some of you learned some things and maybe didn't have like a notepad or something that you guys might want to go back to. So I'm going to get the recording downloaded and sent out to everybody in the challenge. All right. Now, you guys have a great rest of your weekend and go get that workout done. Okay.
Oh, Sam,
Bye.
also, Steven's here with me.
Oh, yes.
So Steven's here with me. He just didn't, or he wasn't able to log in with his phone. So yeah.
Oh, perfect. Then we'll allow that he clicks it off.
Okay. I'm like, whoops, already did. He's like, as soon as you said it, I'm done. I logged it in.
I love it. You guys are ahead of the game.
All right. Thank you, Sam. Thank
Of
you. I'll see you
course.
at 1:00.
Yes, I will be meeting with you just very soon. Does FaceTime work for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, perfect.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Of course. Bye,
See
you
you, Sam.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.